hey, come. Let's talk about the 7 levels of financial freedom. By the way, have you ever asked yourself why some people live in abundant wealth while others are just getting by? As in, they are just getting by. They are really struggling, while others, they are just abundant wealth is what they know. My name is Lucy Gedaiga. I continue to welcome you to this channel. This channel, we talk all things money, all things women and money. And therefore, I continue to encourage you to comment, to like, to share, so that we can continue educating each other. And if you haven't watched my previous videos, please go back so that you can know why I talk about money, because I have talked about all those things. Because listen, me, by the grace of God, I made so many mistakes with money. And that is why I have created this channel, so that we can talk about all things money, so that you do not make the mistakes that I made on money. Now, today, I wanted us to talk about financial freedom. And as we're going to be talking about financial freedom, I have been thinking, I've been reflecting about something that was written by Grant Sabatier. Grant Sabatier is the guy who is, the one of the FIRE movement. This FIRE movement is the thing of financial, acquire your financial independence so that you can retire early. That's why it's called the FIRE movement, just this movement of getting people to sort of, work at their financial independence so that they can retire early. When it comes to issue of retire, by the way, do you know in the Jewish culture, there is nothing like retirement? They don't even talk about retirement. They don't. Because, retirement, of course, when you're doing the things that you love, when you're doing that which you are called to do and that which you're created to do, retirement doesn't even come into the question. However, today we're going to break this video into 3 parts so that we can understand it. So these 7 levels, we'll talk about these 7 levels in the next, in 3 videos. So today is part 1 of the 7 levels of financial freedom. Of course, and we have picked this information from what Grant Sabatier has talked about, in his writing around the issues of financial independence. And by the way, it was Grant Sabatier who said, he's from the US, so of course he talks about dollars. So with every dollar you save, you give yourself the opportunity to sort of get the freedom and the options that you want in your life. So with every dollar you save, the more you give yourself the opportunity for freedom and for the kind of life that you desire and the options that you would like to have in life. So financial independence is very important. And by the way, what is this financial independence? Financial independence is being able to live comfortably off your investments, so that when you save and invest, whatever it is that comes out of your investments, you are able to live comfortably. Whatever the proceeds from your investments, you can be able to sort of meet your lifestyle, with whatever it is that is coming out of your investments. So financial independence is quite important. So today, let's talk about the first 2 levels. The first 2 levels of the 7 levels of financial independence, as Grant Sabatier talks about, and the first level is clarity. Did you know, by the way, if you do not know where you are and where you're going, clearly you will just fall into any direction that comes. So the first level of financial freedom is clarity, knowing where am I when it comes to money? Where am I? Where am I? What is my balance sheet looking like? Where am I? In my coaching programs, of course, we talk about there's a process that you go through around the personal financial balance sheet. But the most important thing really as the first step is knowing where am I and where am I going? And many people, actually, the tragedy is that many people don't ever get to ask themselves that question. They go through life. In fact, by the way, I had that experience because I remember I was just going through life. The thing that I call the kipepeo dance, just walking, just hopping and moving and going without sitting down and asking, by the way, where am I when it comes to my financial, my finances? Where am I when it comes to my financial life? And where am I going? When was the last time you actually sat to ask yourself, where am I when it comes to my financial life, and where am I going? Because it's easy for you. You might sit down and know where you are, but you might not have clarity as to where it is that you want to go. By the way, I sat on a blue seat in my house. I have a blue seat. I don't know. Maybe I love blue. I don't know, but I have a blue seat where I sat on my 47th birthday. And that, can you imagine? After living for a whole 47 years, that is when I was asking myself that question of, where am I? And I was asking myself that question because I had come to the realization that I had messed up with my money so badly that really, I mean, the only way to sort of, get back was to first begin, asking myself that question and getting clarity on where am I and where it is that I want to go. And I remember at that time when I was 47, I sat, and when I looked around and asked myself, where am I? My goodness, woo! You don't even want to know where I was, but I was somewhere. And so I want to encourage you today. The first step is to really get that clarity on where you are. Where are you when it comes to your finances? But also go beyond that and ask yourself, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? A lot of people just move around. They never ask themselves that question. They never know where they are going. They don't know where they are going. They don't know where they are coming from. They don't know where they are. And then you then ask yourself, how come some people know and are living in abundant wealth while others are just getting by? It's because you never quite get the time to engage with this first level of getting clarity. Now, you need to be able to actually just get that balance sheet, that your personal balance sheet, right? I mean, in companies, if you work for any company, every year, you will hear them announcing their position, their financial position. They will do their mathematics, they will do their math, they will know what they have, they will know the position. That's why you hear them say, as at 31st December 2022, this was the financial position of the company. They take time to actually go through and clarify to themselves where they are and where they want to go. And that's why they even have boards that actually look at where they are, and then they discuss with their CEOs where the company should be going, either the next year, the next 10 years, the next 5 years. But we as individuals, we never get the time to actually sit down and get that clarity. And it is no wonder many of us, women, men, and everybody else, it's no wonder that many of us just go through life. By the way, I talk about these issues because I was there. I did that. I was just moving around, moving until my 47th birthday. That is when I asked myself that question. I don't think you want to wait until you're close to your 50s to begin to ask yourself this question. I implore you to actually begin to ask yourself this question the minute you hear this video. In fact, that night, that evening, wherever you are, just sit, get time. These videos, I normally release them on Fridays, so you have the weekend to actually sit and clarify to yourself and get this first level of financial freedom where you get the clarity. Now, number two. The level number two, of course, is what we call self-sufficiency. That's the second level. And self-sufficiency is where, just as the word suggests, self-sufficiency means that if you look at your bills, if you have your needs and your bills, you have income that is able to meet those needs. Whether that income is from a business or whether that income is from employment, employment income or your business income, somehow if your needs, it's able to actually just meet your needs. It meets your needs. It meets your needs. So you have a bit of self-sufficiency because at that point you don't need outside help because you are able to actually meet your needs. And a lot of young people, of course, this is the journey they go through when you start life. I remember when I got pregnant in the university, and of course, that time my mother-in-law had to send food. She would send unga, she would send even soap, she would just package things. And I remember at that time my husband would go to town. Of course, we didn't have a car because we were just starting off. So he would go to town and, receive the package all the way from Nyeri. My mother-in-law would just send, may God bless her, she would send, things, unga ya ngano, the one that is, wheat flour, maize flour, and, things, cabbages, whatever, because at that time, we had not gotten to the level of self-sufficiency, and that's where we all start in life. So if you are at that level where you go up or to self-sufficiency, then you know that you're in level 2 when it comes to financial to financial freedom. The tragedy, though, is that many people, once they get to the level of self-sufficiency where they have income, whether from business or from employment, and they're able to now meet their bills, they stop there. They just stop. They just stop and they don't even move on. They are like, hey, I am okay. At least I am able to meet my bills. So they stop there. And of course, once you stop there is no way you're going to get to. This is just the second level of financial freedom. So financial, that's just the second level. So just being able to meet your needs, just being able to meet your bills is not enough. There's much more. And therefore, I remember even when you start off life, there's this feeling of if only I would just get this. You look at your calculations. In fact, the other day I was having a conversation with my daughter. And because she's in the world of freelance, a lot of times she would look at her, and many young people, this is what they do. They're like, they charge. They look at their bills and they're like, okay, my bills is up to 30,000. So even when they are charging, when they're charging the service, they will charge based on self-sufficiency, because that's where they are. And it's not wrong, because at the end of the day, you will continue to advance, because either way, somehow you have to, you start life somewhere. In fact, and because I know that in this channel we talk about women, we talk about women who have probably earning some reasonable income. The point is, even for me, I am in my 50s today. I just turned 50 just the other day, but I know that, for example, if you have adult children and these adult children, because they are young people who haven't reached that level of self-sufficiency, somehow you have to keep digging into your pocket to support them, so that because they haven't been able to find the opportunity. So somehow you have to still dig and get them to be able to meet their bills somehow. It becomes part of your budget, support to your adult children. Unfortunately, what is happening these days, and what I see a lot of women going through, is that because our children are not able to sort of find the opportunities, either opportunities for business, opportunities for the jobs that they might be looking for, they tend to then just they tend to grind. And a lot of frustrations, of course, continues to build up. We know that we are experiencing a lot of mental health issues for young people, but also even for us as parents, because we look at our children and we are like, oh my goodness, when will this end? Anyway, the point is, we still have to help our children. We still have to support them. But the point that we are making here today is that with the second level of financial freedom is that thing we are calling self-sufficiency. And I think everybody begins life there. This is where we all desire, when we begin life, when we are starting off in life, when we are young. If you can just remember how you are when you were young, you know that this is the place where you are like, if only I could get something, if only my income could just support my bills. You remember that? I'm sure you remember that. If only my income, if only I can get a job, if only I can do business, if only, and you keep calculating those your needs, and then you're able to then say, okay, now I have income that is able to meet my needs. At that level is where we call you, you're at the second level of the ladder of financial freedom. And at that level, you have reached the level of self-sufficiency. And of course, it is great to reach the level of self-sufficiency, but of course, if you're talking about financial freedom, that is not the end. It is only level 2. So somehow we have to keep on, finding ways of, continuing to earn more income, more active income. And as we continue, of course, we shall continue to understand how, the other different levels. So that is where I want to stop today, because I know you are busy. You're busy. We will stop here. And then in the next video, next Friday, we will be talking about the other levels of financial freedom until we complete this series. So part 1 is done. I want to welcome you to part 2. It's coming up, part 2 next Friday, where we will continue to talk about the other levels of financial freedom. Finally, good friends, I want to continue encouraging you to hit that like button. Please like. Hey, please, don't be so mean. Just hit that thing called like, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, comment, tell me, where are you? Have you actually, by the way, tell me. In fact, just go to the comment section and ask and tell me, yes, I was able to actually, do my clarity. I know where I am. I know where I am going, because that's the first level of financial freedom. And let's continue engaging. And thank you very much for staying here. See you next Friday.